The following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
My name is James Kaiser.
Commander Negron.
Kevin Hogan.
Hi, I'm Dylan Fix Carter, and this is Kyber Cave.
Watching Kyber Cave.
Kyber Cave.
Kyber Cave.
After Dark.
Aren't they Cthulhu? Yes, they are. Oh, who's a cute little eldritch horror?
That was adorable. Yay.
Yay! I love it. I love the mashups. Of course, like people that are, that don't watch Kyber Cave, Kyber Cave presents Saber Rattle may not know who all of those people are. But those
no
have
idea
all been,
who any of them are.
they have all been previous guests on our show. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Exhausted.
Exhausted.
It's been a month.
Yeah.
Doing a pageant is one thing. Taking on full responsibility as a manager at my job is a complete other. And then I'm also doing hair and makeup design for the UOP production of Three Penny Opera that opened last night. So I've had a full month.
Wow. And then you also had your pageant that your really big show that you've been working on. Like the when you were on the week before, you were getting out your wigs and getting all prepped for that. How did that go?
It went well, but it also I didn't win.
Say hi.
Yeah, say hi. This is my husband.
Hello.
So the thing is that I definitely stole the last category, my showgirl. Hands down, everyone knows that was the most impressive outfit in that room. And I'm very proud of that. At the same time, it was my other 3 categories that I just wasn't strong enough in.
There's 4 categories.
So it starts with a black and white, which is the only time that you can kind of be campy. So like I had a friend of mine make an outfit that made me look like a vase of roses. But I didn't get a chance to bling that one out. And then usually that has its own award, but I don't know if they did that this year. I think they just did a Miss Congeniality. And then you have a formal and then a talent portion, and then it's the showgirl. The sad truth is that as soon as these other girls walked in with their wigs, I was like, oh, I'm fucked.
Wow.
They
were
all
they like just crazy designer?
Like it had like the nice little swoop and it's sculpted and there's not a single hair out of place. Hello.
Hello.
But all of my hair was styled by myself, and I'm really not a hairdresser at all. Like that's why it's kind of funny. I'm doing hair design for a show. It's like, do you know who you hired? So that and my dress again, bane of my existence. The zippers popped on me right as I got ready for formal. Hi, Phoenix. So I walked out with a ruffle coat on, and that actually cost me points. Like a judge actually came in and was like, "You all need to remember to take off your stuff and let everybody show." And like I told them, "I'm sorry, it was because my zipper broke. Like I didn't want to walk out there with the busted ass dress open." Okay, I'll see you soon. And then my talent, I got feedback for that too, and I was wearing the wrong type of outfit for that. Even where it should have been a darker, longer dress. Like I really should have swapped my dresses.
Yeah.
But no matter what, I had the wrong shoes on. They weren't blinged out, and they just weren't long enough outfits. Like I need to find somebody who can make pageant gowns.
Right. So is this stuff that you wouldn't have known about, like if you hadn't really done pageants before, or?
Well, so that's a fun thing. Formal's always been kind of my downfall.
Sorry, I think our city's on fire.
I thought it was out my door too. It could be both of us. World's
it's out my window.
So I did know about this going into it. I didn't want to borrow a dress again. And thank you. This is my Princess Mononoke backdrop. One of my favorite animes of all time. Yeah. So I need to not get a spaghetti strap next time. That's for sure. I probably need someone to make it for my actual body so it fits and doesn't break.
Right.
And then outside of that, like they said, I even listened to my song that I had done. My voice wasn't 100%. It was a really, really difficult song for me to begin with, and I should have changed it. I was pitchy. I look back at that video and went, ooh, yeah, I see why I lost. Because there was even a sour ass note at the end where I was all, oh, like I never do that, and that happened in front of a room full of people.
Wow.
But after I was done, even though I was really crushed, because even the girl who was competing against me when she came out for Showgirl, the whole thing kind of like fell apart, which happens, and she does what you're supposed to do, which is just keep dancing. You just got to keep dancing. You can't freak out. Can't let it hit you. But I thought that gave me a significant chance, and it just didn't.
The show must go on.
At that talent, I knew she definitely had me beat in everything else far above and beyond for that to not have affected her in the slightest. We still all qualify for Portland. It's just I'm kind of on the fence if I want to invest going there. Like even the pageant coordinator and like Darcel the 15th, who's like the 92-year-old one that started it, called me after and said, we're really proud of you. We're actually shocked you didn't win. Your Showgirl was like hands down the one that slayed. And they've seen my growth since last time. So that's the other thing. Like last time I go around, I did not deal with many people this polished. This time, these queens were fierce. They came prepared. They understood the assignments. And I think the one that won against me was from Southern California. So like she had the connections. Like she had a whole team help her get her shit together too. Like
Right.
Her hair,
really quickly, I want to say what's up to Matt, Steve. We've had a bunch of people jump on. Phoenix, Say Wong.
Phoenix knows Darcel. Small world, honey. She's fabulous, isn't she? I've been to his house. It's amazing.
Steve said that the fire truck was him.
Oh.
It could be. He is that would be his forte.
He's on the East Coast, isn't he?
Yes, the whole country's on fire.
Well, with fire season, the firefighters do tend to come out to California to help out with all the fires. So
yeah, we're not quite there just yet, but we're getting there.
They're already out here just to prepare for it.
It started getting hot the other day.
Yes, it did.
It was so hot. Oh my god.
Yep.
Jesse Bio Boar cosplay is in the house. What is up? What's up, Jason? What's up, Jesse? They are in Arizona, so we got people from all over. We got a lot of East Coasters on tonight again too. Man, I always feel bad because our show starts at like 9 here, so that means that people are waiting till midnight to listen to us speak.
Y'all crazy. Go to bed. Watch us in the morning.
I remember your last video. You were beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So you're on the fence about Portland?
Yeah, just because it is a big expense. Like I have 5 months,
right.
But that means I need to really talk with Misha, the person who got me into this, and be like, look, here's the deal. Like I can only go to Portland if one of you is going to help me find that connection for the wigs. I need someone who's going to legit give me what I need, and not somebody who's like, gonna give me something half-assed. And a lot of the people around me, unfortunately, don't want to help me or don't want to give me the same quality of stuff that they give other people. They tend to give me the one that they did in half an hour and still charge me the same amount.
Wow.
Haters. I'd say they're haters.
Maybe we need to find you some good cosplay people to help.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, if somebody can make me a nice coif, big ass, youthful-ish wig, like that was the other thing. My hair was apparently too old for me. They said my energy was very young and my hair looked very old school, which I guess is why I'm decent at making the 30s style with the hair for these people. Like I'm
right.
Like we're having to get all these girls in these tight little bobs, and all of them have hair that hits their ass. So like we're having to curl it and like pull it up and pin it together. So it looks good for that. But apparently rocking that style is not what we need for a pageant.
Phoenix says, let her know that if you go to Portland, she will watch the fuck. Oh yeah, we can say fuck on the show. I totally forgot.
Nice.
She will watch the fuck out of you. And then Steve says to let him know what you need. Remember, Steve used to do drag as well, so maybe he can.
Oh, this is true. Yeah, I really need a dress that's dripping in jewels. I need someone who can make that happen. I need like 3 of them.
Right.
At least one that's dripping in jewels for formal, and a really stunning something for talent.
SoCal cosplayers can help out with the wig. Yeah. And SoCal cosplayers will probably have the hookups too.
Well, I think so too. I think so too. So yeah, I need to actually ask for help this time. I tried to be very much my own rock for it, and as a result, I gave myself this like 3rd-degree burn.
Oh, geez.
With hot glue. This was happening when I did my my show.
Well, see, I mean, as it seems like you have learned at this this last pageant, it takes a village to raise a queen.
Yeah, it takes a village for a queen to get the crown. That's
yeah. So, well, we wish you luck, whatever you decide to do. But if not,
thank you.
For those that are in Northern California, don't forget you can check out Anthony, aka Rubik's Q, every Wednesday night at the show is called Slay House, right? Slay House.
Rubik's Q Slay House at Blend Ultra Lounge.
Woohoo! Blend Ultra Lounge in Lodi.
Yes.
So make sure to go check that out. What's new with you, Mr. Ezra? What's going on with you, sir?
Not a whole lot. Just been kind of chilling,
growing the beard.
Growing the beard.
Getting ready for Obi-Wan season.
Oh my God. I'm hoping with the I did also get a job at the Sunglass Hut in the Solano Mall. So
did you get approved or whatever?
Yeah, I got approved. Yeah, they're sending me to the general manager, and then my application to the general manager. Once they accept that, they're gonna send me the pre-employment paperwork, and I'll I should have my first shift in like by next week.
Woohoo! So, are you excited?
Very.
You know, Anthony, we need to have him hook us up on some sunglasses then if he's over at Sunglass Hut.
Yeah, I don't get those kind of discounts.
Oh man.
Okay,
BK, yeah, I'm excited too, man.
Cool looking sunglasses, I'll take them. Something big.
Yes, and I do, and right now too, for all the people that we have online, if you guys know anyone, Kyber Cave is hiring right now. I am in desperate need of a shop manager, which basically means that you would handle online orders, open the store for 4 days a week for 5 hours a day, just in case customers drop by. We're like in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like we're high intensity customers, but just, making sure that the orders get taken care of, helping out with some of the things that we need to do on this show. There's a lot of things, a lot of wonderful things, but you can get in on the ground level. And as we grow, there are performance bonuses. So if you hit certain goals, certain sales goals, you get bonuses on top of your regular salary. So if you know anybody in this area that is looking, it's horrible. It's slave labor wages. I don't know if I can say this, but it's $15 under the table to start, which under the table is much better. It equates to a little bit higher, if you actually had to pay.
The government doesn't listen to us. It's totally fine.
Nobody watches this show.
We're not monetized yet.
But this is for, helping schedule things. There's a lot of things that happen at Kyber Cave behind the scenes. And I thought it was funny. I think it was actually Matt Torres who had made a comment before that was like, I didn't know you guys sold lightsabers. I guess that's kind of a problem. If that's our main business and people don't know we do it, that's kind of an issue.
I mean, I get it on this show, but have they seen your other shows?
Yeah, well, Kevin, how are you doing? Does the salary pay in sabers? I can definitely make it pay in sabers, but I'm pretty sure that after the second week, you'd probably want cash as opposed to another lightsaber. So yeah, but like I said, it is paying $15 an hour. Plus performance bonuses if you get more sales. We do things like cons on the weekend. I wouldn't expect the manager to go to cons, but they would have to, we have Ezra is an employee. So aside his job at Hot Topic, if we're doing cons and stuff. Sunglass Hut. I'm sorry. I don't know why, because that's where you used to work. Aside that, they might do scheduling for us for conventions and help us fill out paperwork for conventions and all that fun stuff. So, well, thank you for the legit merch, and you can have it too. So, hey guys, I'm kind of interested on tonight's topic. We're going a little bit. Oh crap! What just happened?
What'd you do?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going a little different direction tonight than we usually do for our soft topic. Usually it's some kind of pop culture thing, or we're talking about movies or Encanto or something. But tonight,
can we stop talking about Bruno?
You can never stop talking about Bruno.
No, we don't talk about Bruno. Stop talking about Bruno.
Yeah, we're not going to.
I know, who is it? What is the local cosplay? Once Upon a Dream or something? Ezra, do you know? Once Upon a Time. I just saw them do a little Encanto video of some party that they've done recently. So I'm sure all the parties are doing Encanto right now. But let's get away from that. We're not talking about that right now. But what we are talking about, dun dun dun, is the power of dreams. Do dreams have effect on our life? Is there anything to it? Is it a bunch of nonsense that happens in your head while you're sleeping? What are your thoughts, guys? Ezra, let's start with you.
I have no clue.
Okay, so Ezra, I'll ask you this:
Okay.
Do you have any dreams in particular that you can like fully recall? Because like you woke up and it just was like, damn, and it stuck with you. You have like dreams that like stick with you, like any nightmares, any crazy ones?
I guess when I was younger, I had a dream about the Marine Corps depot.
Okay.
So when I went there, the entire time I had nothing but like deja vu, and I could distinctly remember like it was weird because it was like I was in an out of body experience in the dream. So I was like flying through like the stairs to go up to my squad bay, stuff like that. Flying through the squad bay, through the through the rain room, stuff like that. The rain room is the shower room for those who haven't been there. And when I went there, just the entire time I had deja vu, and I would talk to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, the exact same thing is happening to me. Like everything that's going on, like the entire time we've been here has been nothing but familiar. Deja vu. Yeah, it's like it was like a home away from home. You know what I mean? Like it felt safe, but not like."
Well, and we were talking about that before we came on too. About like I've been experiencing a significant amount of deja vu. I had it actually while we were getting ready. But it is weird, and it happens every so often. I've heard a theory about this that it actually is kind of a sign that you're like on the right path, or it's like something about how you're synced up with someone in an alternate dimension of yours, and you're doing it simultaneously. Something like that. It's kind of in that multiverse, like parallel universe thing. What about you, Van? What like significant dreams have you had? Have you ever flown in a dream?
You know, I can't remember. I know. First off, I like Matt's comment. Matt was saying it's a chemical doorway to another space. Your body produces DMT when you sleep. I want to find out more about what that DMT is. I'm not real familiar, or maybe you guys can tell me. As far as myself, I remember when I was young, I used to dream a lot. But now as I've gotten older, I don't feel like I dream as much. Only maybe a couple of times, even in the year, have I caught myself where I woke up and I had more of a familiar feeling than it was that I could remember exactly what happened.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there's a lot of times that dreams, like I'll dream something really cool and it'll completely fall out of my head within like 10 minutes.
Right.
And all you get is that general sense. But I've had a number of very significantly either recurring or just like so different kind of dream that it stuck with me. Like I basically would sit up and like recall everything I just dreamt to kind of remember it because it was like some epic story. Like just the other night, I had a dream, woken up from it, went back to sleep, hoping to fall back into that dream because I've done that before. And it ended up into a different one. So it started with it was kind of like a weird thriller murder mystery movie, but starring like an adult Eliza Thornberry, but like live action. So like not the cartoon, definitely the character. Darwin was nowhere around, but it was like her trying to find out who murdered this girl. And I know it was because I was listening to one of those murder mystery IDTV things while I was sleeping. Those have been filtering in. But it was like very post-apocalyptic. And like there was a moment where like, I think she turned into the Black Cat,
right?
Spider-Man, and trying to get away from something. Like, there was a lot of jumping and towers, and it was like I was in her perspective, but kind of third person. Mm-hmm. And then when I woke up and went back to sleep, it was like some saga of Aang and Katara from The Last Airbender, but like in their early 20s, and like them being attacked by some people in like the desert, and like Katara was tied up. And she legit found a way to like water bend water from like inside of the desert deep down up through the stand with her feet.
Wow.
Like some pretty crazy, like, and did some crazy epic waterbending shit that I was just like, fuck, I wish I could know how to animate that. That would be epic. But like one of the first dreams I remember that like really stuck with me was a nightmare. I was probably about like 8, and the parts I remember, it kind of felt like a movie, but it was like me and my mom had just bought this like big ass house, and I was running around like getting ready for bed or something.
Hey, wait, Tony, I want to cut you off really quick, only to say, Matt, I see that you were watching and you seem to have a lot of information about dreams. If you are available, I don't know if you're at work or if you're just chilling at the house, we could throw you a link and you could come up here and let us know what you know, because you seem to have some scientific knowledge about what happens in dreams. Anthony, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to get...
I'm going to ramble a lot tonight. Just again, hey, Rubik's, shut the fuck up. So no, but at the end of that dream, it was this moment where like apparently there were some gangsters upstairs, and then like I got shot in the back, my mom got shot, and I jolted up, and it was just that alone shocked me enough. It was like seared into my brain forever. Outside of that, like I don't recall a lot of dreams up until after like early adulthood. I had a lot of recurring dreams about tsunamis. So that was something that was like constantly anxious about me. And then I've had a lot of those dreams where like your teeth fall out, which is fucking terrifying.
They say that supposedly has to do with fear of aging, right?
That's the first I've heard of that. I've always heard that it's linked to stress. And usually when I am doing that, it might be because I'm grinding my teeth a lot or something, and I don't realize. I've been told by my dentist that I clench my jaw a lot, clearly. So I'm doing that in my sleep. But some of the best dreams I've had will be these fantastical ones where, like, especially if I get the ability to fly. Like I used to do a lot of ones where you can like glide a bit or like jump really high and far. And then like I think the first one where I actually flew, I was somehow the Green Lantern. And I was like on a mission to try to get one of the other rings from like like the Penguin or something. And then at some point it became like this crossover thing where like Marvel Comics seeped into the DC world, but along with like it was Mortal Kombat and Marvel, because Wolverine and Scorpion were going to task, and I was like flying around watching all this shit happen. And I battled some stuff, and then there was another time that like I think I was Billie Eilish flying in a dream. I don't know. Or I associated it with a song. I heard a song in my dream. That then I found the remix online and went, wait, how the fuck did I know what that sounded like? I haven't listened to this before.
Right. As oddly enough, as much as I don't really, think about dreams or make it, I guess, that big a part of my life, oddly, I've realized that a lot of my life has been based around something that happened in a dream when I was 6. But I remember having a dream when I was about 6 and it was so vivid that I, at the time of the dream, thought it was a real thing happening. But I had witnessed what I thought was the future occurrence of me being murdered. I was shot in the back 3 times. I remember it. I mean, I can see it vividly now. Being shot in the back 3 times and falling through glass as I was almost like I was going through like a store window or something like that. As I was being shot. Yeah, I know. Bruce Willis is running behind me. Yeah. And I remember that dream was so vivid that somehow the number 3 got seared into my head, and 3 became almost like my lucky number, but I also associated it with my death number, that whenever I died, it would have something to do with the number 3. So for a long time, I thought I was going to die when I was 33 years old. I'm obviously way past that now. But it can be pretty amazing how much power dreams have on us. Do you think there's anything to it? Is there, obviously it's not going to happen in our brain for no reason, right? It obviously has some kind of significance. William, thank you for tuning in. So good to see you, my friend. So dreams obviously have some kind of significance. Do you think it, what kind of significance do you think it has? Like, some people will base their lives on dreams that they've had, right? They'll give up their career and go start a new lifestyle based on a dream they had.
Well, I think it depends on what type of dream it is. Is it one that seems like it's based in reality? Like, again, Ezra had a dream about being at the Marine Corps, which is a very grounded in reality thing. I've had dreams where I'm on the set of RuPaul's Drag Race, like talking to the people behind the camera. Like I can see the studio, not what it looks like on TV, but how it really is. And it partly has to stem from the fact that I've been inside of a TV studio before. I've done a couple of things like that. I've been on cable news networks and whatnot. So I'm sure that factors into it, but it is one of those things that if it's something more fantastical, because I've been having some trippy fucking dreams lately. Like, again, Avatar, the uncut version that nobody knows, which needs to be written now. Hank and Katara, when they were young, sexy, and totally in their beginning of a relationship.
Hey, those were minors.
Well, they were minors at the beginning. Now I'm saying they were in their 20s. This was like full-grown adult. Like, we're together, but we haven't had our first kid yet. Like, and then outside of that, I've had some that are very strange and trippy. Like I had one that recently that it was almost like a wizarding school, but like nothing like Harry Potter. More like Kakagurui, if you've ever seen that anime. But it like had a lot of fantastical things about it. Like it was like way out in the middle of some desert. There was something to do with like an old pirate treasure, like it used to be an ocean. I remember getting this like collection of things throughout like the adventure of sorts and like piecing it together and doing some sort of spell. And then it turned into a hair accessory, very much like in a video game where like it popped up and there's the stats. And it was some weird like trinket that like made me learn shit quicker. I don't fucking know. But I also had another one a few months ago where like I want to write a fucking book series about it. Like it was something that was that cool and that different. And I was like, man, there was a storyline there. Like I want to sit down and write it. And I think that there's a good chance that a lot of the best stories we've ever seen, especially those fantastical ones, probably came from some sort of dream experience, which
there's been plenty of novels. There's been plenty of great novels where the authors have said that they have woken up and had kind of a vision. And maybe I'm not saying they wrote they had the whole story, but it was enough. It was a nugget, right?
It was enough of a nugget that gave them something to build off of, and then they just kind of fleshed it out.
Right.
Yeah, mine's all about like the underworld. It would be like Underworld meets Harry Potter in the sense that it was like vampires versus witches.
Right.
But like it was more like the vampires were like gang wars and the witches just kind of hid people from seeing it. So it was like kind of like being a human, kind of being brought into that world. That's what the dream was.
Right.
I can't give too much else because someone will rip it off and then I'm going to be pissed off. I could have the next fucking Twilight. Stephanie Myers is a terrible writer.
Well, what do people in the audience think? Do you think that dreams have meaning? Do you think because what I had been told, or at least what I understand, and I always kind of look at with the science of things, you know what I mean? Like even when I look at things like when people talk about having near-death experiences and people that have said that they have died and, gone to the other side and come back, a lot of times I feel like these things, even though, we see things, our brain is just a projection of different amounts of chemicals, right? So, sometimes maybe we think we see things or it's our understanding of it, but it's really just kind of the process of what's happening inside your brain.
So fun enough on that note, because he mentioned earlier that we produce DMT in our brains. I've not personally had experience with DMT as a drug, but I have a good close personal friend who does. He told me about his experience because he's like the most hippie guru kind of guy you could ever meet. Like grows all of his own stuff. Very like vegan. I have filtered water. I have specialized food for my animals. Like he's solid people. So I trust him whenever he tells me anything about drugs because he's done a lot of those too.
Right.
And for him, he's not a very religious person by any sense, but he said that when he did that, it like peeled back this layer of reality and he could see this like cosmic battle of like the good and evil. And it's one of those, and it's also chemical that is produced in your brain when you die.
Right.
And it's I think a lot of it is part of that like coping mechanism factor of like you tripping out to seeing this, like maybe that is what the real reality is. This is the illusion. We're in the Matrix, whatever. But it is supposed to be this like kind of gateway thing that puts us into the next shift of our spiritual experience, we'll say. My big thing about like, I'm not an atheist by any means, and I'm not like super religious. Like I have faith, but it's not a defined one. And it's only because from a practical, logical mindset, especially in the scientific sense, I love the fact that science says that energy cannot be destroyed. It can
Created
only
or destroyed.
be transmuted to something else or passed along. So I feel like no matter what, like we as a sentient beings, that spark that is the soul, that existence, that energy has to move on to something, and that's where a lot of faith is derived from. This is a whole other topic.
We are the same. We are composed of the same atoms that made dinosaurs, right?
And the stars,
right?
The stars.
Right. We are cosmic beings.
Theory I saw. I saw it was on. I don't remember where it was. Some site. It was that Earth is a prison planet for us. That some sentient beings dropped us off here because we're naturally
isn't that Scientology?
I think so. It was that we're
Ron Hubbard shit.
Is that we're naturally like angry, like physical beings. So
I think that was the South Park episode.
Was it? I don't think so.
But that's the basis of Scientology. Huh? Right. Say that again.
Does it have anything to do with Thetans?
Do you remember the word Thetans?
I don't remember that word.
It is very similar. The South Park episode talks about Scientology and legit has on screen, yes, this is exactly what they believe in.
Right,
and it was enough that it got Isaac Hayes pissed off that he quit the show. That's why Chef was lost as a character forever.
One of my friends, and I use the term friends lightly, we both produce shows. We know of each other. You know, we're cool with each other, but we don't hang out. You know what I mean? His name is Jamie. He runs a show, or used to run a show called Tourette's Without Regrets out of Oakland.
I love that name.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is
beautiful.
This show was. He would get 800 people a night. It was once a month, but he packed 800 people in that night. It was a fantastic show.
I believe it.
At any rate, he was the great grandson of L. Ron Hubbard, and he had poems. He was a spoken word poet. He's a very renowned and famous worldwide spoken word poet. But he actually has poems about his mother and his family being on the run. From that side of the family, trying to get away from that whole, Scientology kind of thing. Because, if you know anything about Scientology, they have like people everywhere, and they have like
it's a cult.
It's a cult. They have watchers watching people.
Yeah, no, it's a cult.
Right. Well, yeah. Anyways, we weren't really our subject wasn't really Scientology.
We went from soft to hard real quick tonight, didn't we? Getting into religion.
Pulling the Viagra out tonight.
On the note that Ezra was just mentioning, though, about the prison planet, what's funny is that I've actually seen a few TikToks recently that say quite the opposite, where like we're somehow like this very desired planet for spiritual beings, and that there's like a huge wait list. So I don't know. It's interesting to see how that works.
Club Earth and shit. Is the moon like the bouncer for Club Earth?
No, but
all the other spiritual beings.
I've always personally had this belief that we already live in what is heaven, and just are too stupid to realize it, because there are aspects of this life in this world that are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful and have for all of this love and life and prosperity and just the joy of living, and yet it's also where hell exists, because we have war and famine and disease and all of these other things, and it's this constant battle of the good and evil that trying to reach the balancing point. So maybe it is both. Maybe there's a prison side, and that's why people are born in terrible locations that experience like a lot of turmoil and strife, and there's maggots that eat your eyes or whatever. Like I think Stephen Fry was the one that was like, I don't believe in God, because why would God create a world where there are things that will eat the eyes of children? Like it, and it is gross and horrifying, and it's like maybe this is how God justifies all of this shit.
Right.
If God has a plan, I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know.
I've always thought, this is to the side here, but it seems like all of this is. I've always thought that time is a man-made concept, right?
It is.
So
and it's
1 second to you, and you ever notice like sometimes when you're in the classroom and a minute seems like 20 minutes, but if you're having a great time with your friend, a minute can feel like seconds, right? So I had
Welcome
always
to the
thought...
month of March for me. I'm sorry. I could use about 5 more hours in a day just to fucking sleep. Oh,
Saber
continue.
Paul,
Sorry,
what's
didn't mean to
going on?
interrupt you. It's funny that you mentioned that though, because I keep on saying, "Oh my god, time's just going so fast right now." I just need a little bit more time. Oh my god, how did an hour blip by?
So my whole point of that was, I personally had thought, or at least one of my theories is, what if hell is your last moments of life? Right? What if, because if, let's say you were, I don't know, pinned in a car accident, you know what I mean? And you're in terrible pain, your last moments of life are going to feel like a lifetime, right? Even if you only survive another couple of minutes, that time is probably going to be extended out. And I often think about when people say, my whole life flashed before my eyes, you know what I mean? How can an entire lifetime go, before your eyes in a moment, if time were not a stretchable thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Now, I totally follow you, because I've had some people with near-death experiences that have told me exactly that they legit re-experienced every facet of their life from when they were a kid all the way up till then in a matter of seconds. And I think to some extent that's almost like your brain downloading your file in like the Akashic record of sorts. Like that.
What if that's what that is? What were you saying, Ezra?
I kind of always had the theory, since I was like 2 or 3 years old, I came up with this, that, or it could have just been I heard it somewhere, that when your life flashed before your eyes, that could be us right now. Like, we're currently in the living situation of the person who's having their life flash before their eyes. You know what I mean?
I had thought about
what you're saying.
What if we were somebody else's dream? I had a children's poem that I wrote about that. I wrote a book of children's poetry. And one of the poems dealt with, what if we were actually in somebody else's dream?
That's an interesting concept, because it makes me think of Final Fantasy X.
No, I haven't played.
Oh, of course not. It's my goddamn era. So Final Fantasy X, literally, like, the main character, you find out at the end. Spoiler alerts, by the way. It's been 20 fucking years.
Yeah, if you haven't played by now, it's not.
You haven't played it by now. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's not it. It's not in that book. That's my spoken word. That's my adult poetry stuff.
But yeah, the main character, it turns out, is actually a dream of this thing called the Faith, ironically enough. So it's this whole thing about this city of magical summoners put themselves in this like comatose state of permanent dream to summon this city, which is a time construct and stuff. Like, it's so convoluted in Japanese that you can't even begin to believe it. But it is one of those things that he ends up finding out he's a dream. And then when they beat the bad guy at the end, like, he disappears.
Oh,
like,
wow.
He goes off into the ether. Of course, they totally retcon that in the sequel somehow. I don't know. I don't remember how. I remember playing the game because it had dress spheres, and like the main 3 characters were all girls that would like transform, and I was all into the Sailor Moon fantasy. Playing it again though as an adult, I was like, oh god, this game is fucking terrible. Like, the mechanics did not play well. It did not age well. If it weren't for the sheer fandom and the love of the CGI, I probably would never have played that game.
Right.
I'll watch the movie on YouTube. We'll say that. No, back on dreams though. I think it's interesting because they does play somewhat into this like psychological realm, as well as like the metaphysical and like the multiverse kind of thing. Like, I always wonder, like, are we experiencing a dream because it exists somewhere in that alternate reality, and that's us kind of shifting between the two? Right. I think that's something that a comment earlier said too, is that it was like a connection to another portal.
Right.
So I don't know.
That is something. I find it fascinating. I mean, I don't know how long humans have been on the planet, but we know so much about medical science, about so many parts of our bodies, but we still haven't been able to fully understand dreams, their purpose. I mean, I know it's got to be, I've heard that at nighttime, especially when you get into REM sleep, that's like your brain's like scrubbing out time, right? So supposedly you build up toxins in your brain during the daytime, and when you get into that deep sleep, supposedly it pushes out some of those toxins and helps, which is why some people get amnesia, or not amnesia, but what do you call Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's. Is because they're not getting enough rest to push out those toxins, and
Oh
those
God, I'm
toxins
fucked.
Yeah, my first production company was called Artistic Insomnia, so believe me, I understand.
Yeah, if I could get more than 4 hours a night, Ezra, did you look it up?
Yeah,
I figured.
humans have been walking the Earth for about 6 million years, whereas the Earth has been around for about 4.7 trillion years.
Billion.
Billion? Was it billion?
I know it's 4.5 billion. About that.
Saber Paul says, "I build up toxins even when I'm asleep. I have a dirty mind."
Yeah, you're right. 4.543 billion years.
Yeah. That much I did know, and I think that they have a life expectancy of the sun for like another 5.3 or 5.8 billion years, and then it'll explode. And at that point, you're fucked. If we haven't figured out how to get off the rock by then, or haven't killed ourselves already, like at that point, next world.
I don't think
I'm not really worried about it. Unless,
yeah, I'm not worried about the sun exploding. I'm pretty sure I'm fine about that. The super volcano in Yosemite, on the other hand, that keeps me up at night sometimes. So I'm like, I've seen Dante's Peak. It's
personally,
scary.
I don't think the sun's gonna explode. I think it's just gonna go into like a white dwarf instead of the red one that it is now.
Well, no, it will. There's actually a stage of life 4 stars, and so yes, at some point it will do that before it condenses more, before it gets to the point where it burns everything down. But at some point, there is an extinguishing point of any star, right? So it will implode on itself and then do a supernova. But yeah, by the time it becomes a white dwarf, that's when we're fucked. Because then it's gonna, I forget how that works, if it increases the heat or if it's gonna just shrink to a point where like it's gonna fuck with our system.
Well, look, I'm more worried about global warming than I am right now than I am about the sun going out. That, the global warming is going to affect me a lot more in my personal lifetime than the sun going out. Yeah, that is a down the line kind of issue. Robots will start life on another planet. That might be viable one day. You know what was kind of interesting? Speaking of another planet, I saw this little short clip from Elon Musk, and love him or hate him, I think he has some interesting things to say. But he was talking about how, like, some reporter, because this is something I had thought about too. And he kind of shut it down, which was like, I've never thought about that. Anyways, some reporter had asked him, they were like, all these billionaires are trying to get these rockets to go to Mars. Is that your escape plan in case the world, blows up? And he goes, how is that an escape plan? He's like, if we go to Mars, he's like, first off, the first people that get there are not going to have any time to rest. They're going to have to build a space station, build a farming community. He's like, the chance that you'll even make it there are barely, and that you'll survive if you do make it there are even less than that. So how is that, how is that an escape plan for the rich? Yeah. I was like, touche.
No. If anything, my big conspiracy theory is that part of the whole pandemic shutting the world down. Look what happened when literally human beings.
Oh wow!
Hi.
Well, hello.
Hello there.
Was not expecting.
I'm on a phone online. Hey, what's going on?
How you doing? Can you hear us and see us?
I can see y'all. This is weird.
Can you hear
us?
I
like your punching bag.
Thank you so much. I was putting the kids to bed. You talked about it in Encanto earlier. My daughter's dressing up as Mirabelle tomorrow at that dance studio.
Let's see how many weeks we can go without talking about Encanto. So
you can't do it, dude. It's going to be every show for the rest of the year.
I don't think we talked about it last show.
I wasn't here. That's why.
Yeah, and you had Matt actually has
the one that does cosplay on here.
It's not exactly the material I want, but it's an effort.
Matt actually had a cool flow video with the Encanto thing on.
Oh, Saber Paul says, "Get out of here and get back to Saber cool flows."
Where was everyone leaving off at? I heard some like trippy dreams going on.
Yes,
I'm gonna jump off for a second. I'll be right back.
What did I say just before you popped on? Because you totally derailed my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
My bad. It happened.
It was you were talking. I don't remember.
Good.
It was something metaphysical and theoretical. I don't fucking know.
I like
We all got
metaphysics.
derailed.
Oh, it was Elon Musk. It was,
Oh,
it was
no, you were
conspiracy
talking-
theory.
you were
It's
talking
conspiracy
multiverse.
theory.
Yeah,
So
we
is
were
my
talking
conspiracy?
multiverse. Like, are we experiencing reality, or if we're not experiencing reality?
Yes, that was earlier too. I was talking about my personal conspiracy theory about how the pandemic shut the world down for like a month for sure. And what we saw in that time was nature replenished itself fast.
Yeah.
Like you look
Yeah.
at
That
where's the place
yeah.
with the boats and the gondolas, whatever. There's a place in
Really
Italy that the
fast.
water all cleared up, that like the ozone replenished itself in China. Like there's all of these things where like so much of the earth was able to recover and heal from our damage of pollution in that short time where we just sat at home on our hands, that it makes me wonder, like, was that a big part of like what happened and why this occurred to kind of prolong the planet's demise from the global warming? Because let's face it, if we just took a month every year and just stayed home and didn't do shit, fuck that alone would do a lot of good. But
about the amount of trash that I make all the time. I mean, I'm in a family of 4, and we make a lot of trash.
I'm in a household of 2. We make a lot of trash. That's why I have a green screen, because I don't want you to see it. Looks like an episode of fucking Hoarders over here.
That's okay. You're just keeping most of the stuff that you love, so that's all good.
You hear that the
we were
ozone
talking
hole
about,
in,
do y'all know anything about DMT at all? Do y'all?
We were talking about that
First of all,
earlier.
does anybody know anything about psychedelics in general? Any experience? A little bit. You high five.
I want to. My husband don't let me.
I can't say anything.
Well,
government does nothing.
I also will do it too much. So
well, I just got back from Colorado, and in parts in Colorado, actually, it's legal to eat mushrooms there. I think it's not Colorado Springs, Denver. It's legal to eat mushrooms there. And I was like, that's very interesting. Just that part of town. But the DMT,
I've done mushrooms once.
I did that with the purpose.
Hello,
the
Josh.
very first time I did that was when I was 33 years old. And I took a journal, I wrote it down, and I had a weird, trippy experience that throughout the rest of my life, up until this day, I've actually had symbolism in real life. It's trippy, very fucked up. It's very trippy. But that DMT thing is... I'm sorry,
I was going to say there's a lot to be said about psychedelics and how they kind of reset us mentally because of what happens. The experience is very euphoric. And depending if you're in a safe environment, especially, like, that's the thing. If anybody does take this lesson from life, if you're going to do any kind of psychedelic, make sure you're safe. You need to do it so in a safe environment. It's best to do it with people who know what the drug is and how it reacts. I had that happen at a rave recently where, like, I took a little too much Molly, and I blacked out for the last part of that night. And the stuff that I heard afterwards, I was like, fuck, I did that. What? That's not good. And like my friends were there and they took care of me. Like I got too hot. They put me in a shower in my underwear and just got cold water on me.
It's good. It's good to have safe people you feel good with. Like, even when I had my experience, I was with friends. I wrote a journal. I had someone who watched me, who was like my best friend since junior high. But also at the same time, as soon as I started going into that trip, he came outside naked with a stuffed animal snake on his shirt and was like, "Hey, Matthew." I was like, "Oh, fucking hey, Jeremy."
See, I had a moment on shrooms where me and my friend, like, legit afterwards we talked about it. I was like, did you have that moment where we were talking telepathically with each other? And he's like, yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, no, I remember the conversation and like we both had it down. So it was weird. We communicated in a way that we didn't speak words, but we totally understood exactly what the other one was saying. And I don't know if it's just because of how close we were or if we like legit had that like X-Men moment.
It's a wall breaker between people.
Yeah.
Where you can't bullshit people anymore.
Yeah.
If you really want to know someone honestly, have a psychedelic experience with them.
But they just covered that on Book of Fett, right? For those of you that watched Book of Fett,
I only watched the last 3 episodes.
But wait, did you see the episode with the lizard that goes up his nose?
I did not. What happened with that one?
Oh crap! I'm sorry.
That's okay. I watched all the spoilers to most of the MCU movies before I went to go see them, so I'm okay with spoilers.
Right. So there's one part when he's with the Tuskens and he helps them out, and as a thank you, a Tusken raider, the Tusken leader, gives him this lizard, and the lizard goes up his nose, and then the Tusken blows some like spice into his face, and Boba goes on this vision quest out into the desert to find a sacred tree, which is what the Tuscans make their staffs from. So
That sounds like that was in somebody's dream.
Yeah, that sounds like it was somebody's dream. 100% sound like it was somebody's dream. But
I want to know about Banana Hammock Josh over here. He popped up. He hasn't said nothing. He's cute.
Oh.
What's going on?
Who is
For
it?
those, hey, really quickly,
I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to see.
Yeah, really quickly, I want to say for those that, in the audience that don't know, this is Mr. Matt Torres. He is a famous flow artist. You've probably seen him on Saber Rattle a few different times, but he's moving so fast you can't always see his face there. We also have Banana Hammock Josh. He is the co-host of Pop Culture Kaboom out in Reno, Nevada on 95.1 every Sunday night. So you can check out his station there. So we do have a few different guests. And of course, always the fabulous Anthony Allen from Slay House. I always say Slay House
in Lodi.
And you're fabulous too, Ezra.
I'm tired and busted to dress up tonight. I'm sorry. I was gonna be other mother. I said I can't.
Right. So there's a lot of cultures that actually use like Steve was talking about earlier, the Vision Quest, or use psychedelic drugs, maybe even in combination with dreams to not just for fun and recreational, but actually to help shape their lives and shape directions that they're going in.
Oh, you made Saber Paul sad. You didn't mention him.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Saber Paul. Hi, Saber Paul.
Yeah, isn't that kind of what Black Panther did too? He ate that little root to go into that little Vision Quest, essentially, to go get his Wakanda Forever powers.
Right.
Use psychedelics in the Disney movie besides Dumbo.
It sounds like there just seems to be a theme of in the dream world. You can't bullshit.
Saber Paul.
Oh, Saber Paul.
Oh, what does it say?
Don't leave yet.
Bye, Paul.
Oh.
Van Gogh. You go by Van Gogh, right?
I have so many different lives, so many different names.
Okay.
It's Arc Around the Kyber Cave, but Van Gogh. When I used to do spoken word poetry, my stage name was Go, and then my mama named me Van.
Okay. What? How do you pronounce it again? Arc.
Yeah, Arc.
What's the last part?
Excala.
Arc.
Yes,
Excala.
sir.
Yeah, the DMT thing. It's mostly like stuff I hear on podcasts and like things I read online. In rats, they have found that DMT is produced in the brain slowly toward death. So, in theory, when people are dying, the brain produces DMT right before you die, which is what's triggering that I guess tonal effect when everyone dies, out of body experience. So that's one way. The Egyptians also believed that the pineal gland was a way to get into another world, which is why you got that little Egyptian eye that they do that kind of looks like the pineal gland.
Right.
It's basically right here in your brain.
Oh, so the eye of Ra, the third eye, that's based off of the shape of the pineal gland?
Look at the eye of Ra. Everyone right now, look at the eye of Ra and then the pineal gland side by side. You'll be like, oh, fuck. I was going to trip you out.
Ezra's going to pull that up. I see a screen going dark over there.
Kind of like how pomegranates are good for your heart, and they kind of look like the valves of a heart, and the pomegranate seeds are blood cells. Go figure.
Yeah. So then a theory is that's how you're having that dream state when you go to bed at night. Is like your pineal gland is producing that small levels of DMT just for you to like go out as a way for your brain to kind of relax.
Well,
even like when you're sleeping at night and you have like a television on, your brain's still listening, so you got to turn it off.
Oh,
so
I hope I have.
Man.
Your body's sleeping, but your brain's like, oh yeah, that's that fucking next episode of Stranger Things or X, Y, and Z. It's just tripping out to it. It's just a good way to relax and de-stress.
So I've never really thought about that, but so like because I sleep with the TV on, right?
Oh,
see, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Damn.
He even brought up like a diagram and like go Ezra.
You're welcome.
I mean,
wow,
that's pretty trippy shit.
A lot of ancient monks, you can even say Jedi, the Force stuff that I do, do a deep meditation type breathing. I've trained with someone named Wim Hof. He's a guy from Amsterdam, really good guy. Talk about mind reading. He was in Garland. He does a deep type of breathing that is called Tuma breathing, which is like this. But you do it for like an hour or 2 hours. but you stay
Wow.
in this trance. But monks, Jedi do that type of breathing to get you into that kind of DMT-like state. It's good to de-stress and kind of like get your body to relax. I recommend it, but
Well, there's something to meditation for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I should meditate more. I don't know why. I just get
I have
stoned.
to.
I used to meditate. I stopped.
I want to hear from Banana Hammock. There you have this other cute bearded boy other than Ezra pop up on here.
What about my beard?
He's from chat roulette. I'm sorry, I like my teddy bears too, Van, but I'm telling you, like,
look at
Banana
Matt. But
Hammock
both
over
of
there
us,
is that
Matt and I are heard over
danger
here.
boy that I'd see on like chat roulette. So.
He is a Marine too, by the way. So.
Stalker. No wonder I
Arch
thought
got
he
gray.
was attractive.
But
I told
I
Ezra
mean, we're
earlier,
talking
that's
about
never
like
really-
we're talking about like psychedelic trips and stuff like that. I mean, I just masturbate.
It's
True.
the
I
same
feel like
chemical
that's a
release.
form of meditation
It's
too.
the exact same chemical
I
release.
truly feel like that is my only form of meditation I do daily.
It takes a lot of concentration.
Yeah, and you feel great after.
Matt was saying,
Yeah, I
Especially
mean,
if
you
an
just have to go into
active
like that Zen mode,
and Matt was just saying it's the same chemical release, which is why I believe the French they call an orgasm the small death, right?
Ooh.
Hi, Belle.
I did
am
not
sorry.
know that
You
fun
came at the
fact, and I
wrong
think that's
time.
cute.
Yes, the
love
French.
that.
What'd you say, Ezra?
I
Belle,
said,
you
hi,
came
Belle.
in.
Sorry, you came at the wrong time. They
Right.
started talking about masturbation and
Wow,
shit.
I'm really sorry
so
about where
sorry.
you just came in on this show, Belle, but we welcome you
Oh.
here. Belle is actually a real Disney princess, so I
Belle.
feel a little blush now to be speaking about orgasms in front of a Disney princess. But yes,
Okay.
the
I
French.
mean, does the Disney princess want an orgasm?
It has to be an orgasm for
I
Princess.
know you.
She is actually-
once upon a dream.
She's actually going to be our guest this Sunday night on our show, Saber Rattle, this Sunday night. But yes, the French word, and I can't remember what the exact word is, but I believe it translates into little death when we're talking about orgasm. So yes, when you're at that moment, and it makes sense to me now. I didn't think about this, Matt, but when you're dreaming, right? Like if your brain is releasing, hello, Belle. If your brain is releasing this DMT, it would make sense to me why dreams are so weird, right? Like why they're not like a normal story that you would watch, but it's crazy pieces coming in and out. I guess if you've got literally drugs pumping through your brain, that it makes some kind of sense.
It's also why I'm so pissed off at Inception as a dream-based movie, because there's not nearly enough. Like, there's trippy stuff happening in that, but not stuff that experiences in dreams. Like, certainly there should be some sex in there somewhere, because sex dreams are great. Other than that, I will say that like a better movie is still Paprika. Like, if I had the machine that's in the movie Paprika, I would be so happy because I could rewatch some of these things and then actually write stories about them. Which, for those of you out there, big anime nerd here, if you couldn't tell, Princess Mononoke background, go do yourself a favor and watch Paprika and then fight me about that it's not a better movie than Inception. Because I think that movie is so brilliantly done, and it definitely has moments that I've experienced in dreams, like where you can't kind of move, right? Like you're in slow motion, or just some of the more fantastical elements of it. So good watch. Go watch it.
I haven't done it. I haven't done it in a while, but I would recommend dropping some acid and then going and watching A Clockwork Orange.
Oh God!
Ooh, no, I'm good.
No, we're good.
Not that
So-
movie.
I'm good.
I did shrooms and watch The Yellow Submarine. That movie was meant for that.
That's the what's it called? Well, yes, the ecstasy sex scene is pretty cool. I like the ecstasy sex scene. What is Paprika?
Paprika is a movie by director Satoshi Kon. He's known for works like Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers, all of which are anime, but they're also adult animated films. Perfect Blue is one of those like perfect thriller movies. Like all of these are brilliant. He's a brilliant director. They actually even had to copyright a scene from that movie because it ended up being used in a couple of other movies where they took that imagery, and it's like, no, you ripped that off from me.
Okay.
Like, that's not okay. It's when she's in a bathtub and she screams into the water. So he's very visionary. He has a lot of really deep, complex things in his works, And Paprika, the storyline is essentially that there's this facility that's studying people's psychology through their dreams. And they designed this machine to basically record dreams along with a therapist who gets to wear that device and then jump in that dream with them.
Oh, wow.
So it's before Inception. Like, this is the thing. Inception totally ripped this movie off and then totally fucked up the premise. But really what ends up happening is that she's this therapist working with this one person. Paprika is the therapist.
Mm.
And then it goes to this facility where the people realize that someone's stolen their device. Someone's stolen the prototype. And now it's missing. And now people that have used this in previous sessions are being affected by someone now being able to jump into their dreams and fuck with their subconscious.
Oh, wow.
And it legit creates this like whodunit thriller moment where like the lead scientist is like trying to track down who's stolen the device, but because she's used the machine and it turns out she's Paprika, spoiler alert, 15-year-old movie. Like she's getting fucked with too. Like there's a moment where she's chasing after somebody who shows up out of nowhere and she's about to like jump over a fence and then someone pulls her back and she was about to jump over the rail of a building. Like she was going to jump off of a ledge. So it's how the dreams distort their own reality and how it seeps together. The overarching themes and everything that ends up culminating at the end is like really, really cool looking. It's fantastically animated. All of his movies are beautifully done. And it's got complex characters. There's a lot of nuance and subtlety to it, almost like Studio Ghibli, but like less cartoony.
Sounds like a normal Saturday night for me.
Well, I want to join you on a Saturday night then, sir. Shit, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, they have a list of anime shown at my theater, and Paprika was on there, along with like Ponyo. Ponyo was
cute.
Ponyo's Spirited Away, obviously, was one of theirs.
It's an adorable movie.
But, Spirited Away. What's the other one we're talking about?
Princess Mononoke?
There you go. That was on there too.
This
like,
right
my daughter
here.
loves
Beautiful movie.
My son hasn't watched it yet.
One of my favorite films, I want to talk a TED Talk about how it's so brilliantly structured because it doesn't have a definite villain. All of the characters are in a realm of gray moral juxtaposition from each other.
What's best for us?
Kind of, yeah. But at the same time, it shows that they still have empathy towards others, or that they have a more caring or more honorable thing that they're coming from. But yet the way they affect each other is what's causing all the conflict and strife and damaging. And he has a Studio Ghibli's director. Oh, why can't I remember his name? Oh, I'm a bad fan. Anywho, he's had a constant theme about man versus nature in a lot of his stuff. Princess Mononoke is the one that really hits it on the head, and it's another gorgeously animated film. Everyone should watch it like tomorrow.
I've never thought about it that way before. I am today years old. You're absolutely 100% right.
About what?
There's not a definite clear villain in that movie.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
Shit. You're right.
Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about it. Like I want to do God, it's been a minute since I've watched it and I'm stoned and I drank a bit. What is the lady who runs Irontown? Do you remember? It's Lady
Geisha.
I know. She looks like a geisha, but it's not Lady Tsunade. That's from something else.
Seiwan had some comments at the bottom. Mizuki.
Lady
Miyazuki.
Hayao Miyazaki is the director. Thank you. Lady Eboshi. Her name's Lady Eboshi. She is so fucking badass, and at the same time, like somebody that I want to do drag as, and I that's one of those ones of is this cultural appropriation if I do her? Because she is a really tall woman. I'm not gonna lie.
Saber Paul says Death Note animated series is awesome, and William Dafoe in the live action was the best part of the movie.
William Dafoe in any movie is the best part of that movie. It's Lady Eboshi, Saber Paul. I remember now.
A friend of mine told me about a movie that I had need to watch. It's Keanu Reeves in an anime movie. Have anybody watched that at all?
An enemy movie?
Yeah, it's called an movie. It was like Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Benicio del Toro.
Hey, Banana Hammock's got it.
It's called Berserker.
What is it called?
Berserker. It was actually written by Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
It was a comic book first. He actually came out with his own comic series, and it's awesome.
Is that Keanu Reeves did that one? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves wrote Berserker.
What the
Oh, this was
fuck?
this was a
Fun fact of the like. Oh God. Okay.
A Scanner
God,
Darkly.
isn't the main character?
There
Guts?
you go. I was about to look it up. Scanner Darkly. Yes.
Scanner Darkly. I've heard of. I haven't watched it. But I've heard of it.
No one's watching it
But
all.
the best-
Okay, I was just
But
curious.
the best anime in the world is Assassination Classroom.
Debatable.
Debatable.
No, not debatable.
Debatable.
Okay,
I don't debate
Very
it.
debatable.
I talk with you next time for sure.
This is a dictatorship. This is not a democracy.
Assassination.
This is
What is
very
it called?
much a democracy.
Assassination.
I'm willing to hear your points. I'm just willing to
Oh.
prove you wrong.
The smiley
What's
guy's
that?
the dude. Dude with the smiley face. I've seen him before.
Yeah, I've seen it too. It's a good enough anime. I like it. It's got a lot going for it. I don't know if I'd call it the best anime.
Am I the only one that can always looks at Keanu Reeves and can only think of either Matrix or John Wick?
No, I think of Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted. We're older though.
The Lighthouse.
Yeah, we are.
The Lighthouse.
That and
was
Speed.
really good.
Lighthouse, yeah.
Speed was when he really took off as like the action star breaking out. And then the Matrix happened, and it was like, oh, okay, now you're solid, and then we don't.
You know what? The last Matrix got a lot of slack, but I enjoyed it. It was a very good movie. I had no problem with it. I watched it twice.
I agree.
The first time I watched it was in VR. I was like, whoa.
I think the themes were updated very well on that. I think it got a lot more shit than it deserved.
Yes, thank you.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I've only seen the first Matrix, so I can't.
See, and I'm actually one of the few people that really likes the second one. Everyone hated the second one. I was like, no, that fucking car freeway sequence was epic. Like that was everything that I needed in a movie, and nothing has topped that.
They actually built that freeway for that scene. That was like the most expensive car
Yes,
scene
it was, and it
in
was
history
so
or
good.
something. Definitely worth it.
Oh, the car chase scene.
Yeah, on the freeway.
That was a fucking epic scene. I love that scene. Morphe was dope as fuck.
Thank you, Bell. Thank
the characters were really good. The ghostly guys were fun, like Persephone and
when I see
the French dude was really, really good. Merovingian, the Merovingian. That some of the best sequences ever. The only thing that sucked about that movie was the pacing in Zion. Like they needed to set up Zion because they didn't really do much of that in the first one. It was all about the ship. And I feel like they focused too much on the city, which was boring as shit, and that rave scene sucks. But outside of that, I like that movie.
That rave scene was actually filmed here in Oakland.
I'm a martial arts fan. That's one of my favorite ones. There was so much martial arts and action in that movie. The sword choreography in there. I still memorize most sword choreography in my head, and I replay it later on with lightsabers. So if you if you have a watchful eye, anything that I do is like, oh, that's that scene from Matrix. It's like, oh, that's that scene from Crouching Tiger.
Oh, wow.
Some good shit. Yeah, I like that shit.
I like The Man with the Iron Fist too. I think that's another good, fun action film.
I'm gonna put my dog in real quick.
I like anything that RZA has a hand in. I think that those are actually really fun, campy movies.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with anime.
Do yourself a favor and get some. God damn it!
You know what it is? Is like some of them, like, and I guess maybe it's the longer series that I'm just like, okay, this is just really like a Dragon Ball or something like that. I just feel like some of them it just seems way too drawn out.
It is. I'm gonna tell you why. Any Shonen Jump series, the big three, Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, they are all done with this like deadline and schedule, and the episodes cover a lot more ground than like the weekly issues do. And at some point, when something's as big and popular like that, it goes and runs its course to where it's caught up with the anime on the manga side, and manga needs some time to catch up. So then what they have are filler episodes. And everyone will tell you that the filler episodes are noticeable and terrible every single time. Like, they try to make like these little side stories are great, but they literally have no impact on the overarching theme. And it's a lot of that played out waiting for something to happen, you know, especially in Dragon Ball. For about 15 seconds, but like every fucking episode, every iteration is just, we're having a tournament. Oh, it's the same usual people. Oh, I'm more powerful now. now they're more powerful. Like it's the same thing. Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Right.
I feel like Power Rangers are kind of the same way.
Yeah, it's very Power Rangers. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think I have an anime for you, man.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Watch Baki.
Oh,
I like
Exactly.
Baki.
That's
Yes,
fun.
you would like that as a
That's
martial
fun.
artist.
And I
for sure.
think you would like Baki.
That's
Okay.
fun.
I love
Okay.
Baki.
I mean, first episode, there's so much blood. So much blood.
All right. Okay.
It's not a perfect anime, and it's certainly like over the top in its own right, but it is a good watch.
It's
Yeah.
about a man who
The
just
perfect
trains
anime to
be
me.
the baddest motherfucker ever in fighting, and his son wants to beat his ass.
Yeah.
And his mother gets abused by him. Was like, I fucking love you still. Really good show.
Wow.
Daddy
Good.
issues. We're talking about generational trauma. Yeah, Japanese anime did it a long time before Encanto. Hate to break it. A lot of daddy issues in anime.
Oh yeah, I was scarred by Trigun.
I believe it. Mine was Neon Genesis Evangelion. Want to talk about a trippy, fucked up ending to a series? Oh my god, one of the best animes out there for sure.
I
Really
actually
weird.
have a collector's box of that anime if you want it.
I'll take it. Someone stole mine.
Get a hold of me on Facebook.
Okay, you
I'll
have to send me a link because I don't know if your
Bringing
actual
people
Facebook
together.
name is
I'll-
Banana Hammock Josh.
They don't even get
I'll
to
send you the
the
thing.
final
is-
in Baki, but it was. Yeah, you're right. There was no very final fight.
No,
I don't think they've gotten there yet. I want to say it's like waiting on one.
yeah, they're still waiting on another season and a half, I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that
I
sounds
was not
about
aware of
right.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I just found out? Keanu Reeves was in Toy Story 4.
What about it?
Who was he?
He was
the Daredevil
motorcycle
guy.
dude.
Yeah, the motorcycle guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that
You
movie.
didn't know that?
No.
How?
I thought you were gonna say something else, like Banana Hammock Josh is not wearing a banana hammock.
I was also gonna say,
what are
why aren't
you
you wearing a
wearing? 'Cause I'm
banana hammock,
genuinely
bro? I saw the
curious.
picture you sent earlier.
Bell says Full Metal Alchemist made me cry. It was so sad what happened to Edward and Al's mom.
Okay. Also, I know that this one's not an anime. The one that she said is, but the one I'm about to say isn't. One thing that scarred like every generation is fucking Final Destination.
Yeah,
Never watched him.
don't. You'll never drive on the freeway behind a certain kind of truck
I
ever
also
again.
never watched.
Oh, yeah,
Star.
that Final Destination.
Yeah.
I
The
wasn't a
only
big fan.
animated- Only animated movie that made me really cry was when Optimus Prime died.
Oh,
That
Weak.
well,
Yeah,
give
I'm
up.
like,
Miss.
Weak.
and then you realize later. I'm
Transformers
not
movie
sure, but
sucked.
have y'all watched the movie Boogie Nights before?
Yes.
Okay.
No, but I know the premise of it.
Is
I
the
remember
theme
once
song from-
awkwardly asking my mom, like, "Hey, can we rent this?" And she's like, no." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because I'm not about to watch a movie about a porn star with my teenage son." Sorry.
It's actually a really good movie. It's a
I
really
know
good
it
movie.
is. I know it
It's a damn
is.
good movie. Yeah,
Mark
I think
Wahlberg at his finest.
Dirk Diggler did the song for the Transformers. You got the touch. You got the power.
Right.
No, my perfect anime for everyone is the original Cowboy Bebop.
Haven't seen it.
Do yourself a favor and watch it right now.
People
It
tell me that
is
too.
flawless.
No,
It is well paced. It has interesting characters. It has good action sequences. It was ahead of its time. It has great story structure overall. And it has a finite 24, 26 episodes, something like that. Like it's a one contained story and it's perfect. Like there are a couple of weird nuanced things,
Yes,
but
I am.
nothing is boring enough that you're not interested, and none of the side stories don't somehow play
back
into
there.
it. Like, what was that?
Oh, Saber Paul was like the dork with the lightsabers, Matt. It's like, yeah, they're back there.
Yeah.
He meant
And then he
Dirk,
changed it
not
to Dirk.
Animated movie, animation that's capturing my eye right now that I want to look at is Demon Slayer. That looks really good.
Okay,
The
so
fight
Demon
scenes-
Slayer's solid. The
The fight
animation's
scenes online
good.
look really, really good.
Yeah,
Like-
and it does a lot about like dealing with the main
Cowboy
character
Bebop.
kind of
It is
understanding the enemy and making the demons almost humanized by like getting why they're fucked up. Like there is something nice about that. It
'Cause they,
is
like,
still a
possess
little generically the same kind of like My Hero Academia, where it's kind of a carbon copy of something else that exists,
Mhm.
but like in a new voice and a new style. So it's good. Demon Slayer is good. I don't think it's about to overshadow the big three or any of the other like current new favorites. Like My Hero Academia is nothing special either.
I hate My Hero.
You know what, guys? Let's.
I think one of the big three was Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon was the original OG bitch, and I was the Sailor Moon kid.
Yo, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm enjoying this. I'm actually just letting me know I need to catch up on some anime. I'll probably need to get a list from you guys of just some of the like essential watches. However, I want to cut this off only because our topic is supposed to be dreams.
I know.
And on top of that,
we've been going at this for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, and on top of that, I want to get into we've got about 45 minutes left in the show, so I want to get over to the second topic that we had tonight. Usually, for those that have been following this show, we try to cover 2 topics every night. The first topic is usually much more fun, much more light. A lot of times has to do with pop culture, and the second topic is sometimes something that is a little more challenging to discuss, maybe things that people talk about behind closed doors, but they're afraid to talk about in public about. Ezra, did you want to say something?
No, I just said kaboom.
Oh,
kaboom.
You said pop culture.
Oh yeah, I forgot the kaboom.
We did just spend like 30 minutes talking about anime, so I mean,
is that the word of the day?
I'll let you guys know real quick. I've only got about 10 minutes before I got to head off to work.
Send me a friend request.
I will. Just put it in chat and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, we're all on the same board.
Or like whatever it is.
I'll send you guys the links to each other.
Yeah, do it. I want to talk to him.
All right. So
thank you.
For tonight's our hardball topic. And I wish I like to try to shoot or get Ezra to get a video. I forgot to do that for this one, but I wanted to talk about well, before we had talked about body shaming in cosplay, right? In cosplay, it doesn't matter what your body looks like. You can do whatever character you want to do. But now I want to talk about kind of the flip side of that and the body positivity. There's a lot of people that will, advocate for being overweight. As you can tell, I'm definitely on the bigger side myself.
Take it off.
That's
Take
right.
It off.
I'm keeping people warm at night. But have we gone too far maybe? Like, because there's nothing wrong with loving your body, of course, and loving who you are. But there does get to a point where we have celebrities on YouTube. They have these what they call mukbang videos where people are eating hundreds, thousands of calories and literally damaging their health to get views and things like that. So is there a difference between body shaming and body positivity? Where's the line between what's okay? It's okay to love your big self, but it's not okay to become 700 or 800 pounds to where you're literally damaging your own health. What do you guys think?
It's a double-edged sword. You should love yourself, because I used to weigh about 120 pounds heavier than I used to be. My body needed to be healthier so I could be around for the people I need to be around longer. Right. So even though I lost weight, I'm still very unconfident with my shirt off. Like, people say, yeah, I look good. I have no confidence to my body.
Can I see you with your shirt off?
I mean,
if you're
this is how we get the views on the show, guys. Damn, God damn, dude. What the hell?
I used to be a lot, like 120 pounds. That's a lot of weight to lose. I weigh like 170 now, but you need to be proud of who you are, but you also need to be around longer for yourself and for the people in your life that you love. Be proud of people. You got to be both. It's my opinion.
Right.
And be smart with it. Your heart doesn't need to work that hard. Your lungs don't need to work that hard. Your bones don't need to work that hard.
Right. As far as myself, like I said, I'm a big boy, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I'm really, I'm starting to notice it with my health. Like, I get winded on a flight of stairs, whereas, my skinnier friends don't necessarily do that. Now, I do have problems. I do smoke cigarettes too, and that's something else I've definitely got to change about myself. But, sometimes for me, when I see people that, talk about how, beautiful, and this is hard to say, but I guess this is what this show is for, right? You tend to only see it one direction, right? It's usually bigger women are beautiful, but bigger guys aren't beautiful, right? You never hear about that.
Can I just interject there?
Please do.
I'm in the gay community. We have these things called bears. Yeah, no, we know about them.
I've been called a bear before. And a zaddy. I believe a zaddy's the name.
I will take a zaddy. Again, everybody here is very cute. And again, I'm a flirt, so go figure. I wish I would have dressed up. At least I get the thirst trap. Like, hi, look at me. I look like Marilyn Monroe.
We love the hair.
But okay, but outside of that, I will say that yes, there is much more of a focus on the bigger bodies. Can I just interject though, as someone who grew up in the heroin chic days, that I feel like this is the thing that the body positivity should have focused on, which is that like being rail thin, that being that size 0 in itself is also not healthy.
Right.
Attaining that kind of body size is not healthy. And I think people were pushing for more of a, hey, the real average person's more like a 12 or a 14 or a 16. And that's a healthy, normal weight that people can attain and acquire and still enjoy life. But it then moved into like, oh, well, now we have to just make everyone who's a size 36 and above like feel like they're stunning and brave and just, you know, gorgeous because they're that size. And rather than it being more about like, as long as you're happy with you, that's what matters. Really, it should be that if you're okay with however you look, and if you're big and you're beautiful and you know that, and that's great, go for it. Confidence is key. Live your best life. Other people's opinions don't really need to be a problem for you. At the same time, what Ark is saying over here is that we have now glorified it to a point where like morbid obesity is seen as not an issue. And it is a big health issue. And there's so many people that post about it all the time about like, how dare my doctor weigh me and say that I need to lose weight. And it's not to say that there's not validity in people who go on with legitimate problems and all they're told is, well, just lose some weight and you'll be fine. And it's like they do. And then they go back and there's still those problems. That in itself is its own entire concern. At the same time, again, when you have anything above 300, once you get to that 350, 400, or the 600-pound life, yeah, there's nothing healthy about that. That is not the size you should be. You should not get money because you've eaten yourself into staying in a fucking one spot and then put the needs of your life on others. Because you can't get to that size where you are bedridden without enablers letting you do that. Right. And without the help of them doing that for you. You're not getting up and moving around. You're not going to work. You're not making your own stuff. You're literally just sitting there and stuffing calories into your face. That's not okay. We can't let that be okay. At the same time, I have good close personal friends that they are bigger by nature. They are bigger by design. They are heftier women and they're still gorgeous and beautiful because that's just the framework that they were given. Right. It doesn't mean that they'll ever reach that size 0, but it's not making them like unhealthy for existing as someone in like the 250, 295 realm.
Right. And I want to make clear that, you know, it's not about, you know, it really, for me, it's the thought of health, right? It's not about, you know, a person's size. If you're bigger, again, I'm bigger myself. By the way, I want to say what's up to Anna in Mexico. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. But it has to do to a point where, you know, sometimes I see, and I've been watching, Nikocado avocado videos and people that have been talking about how they're concerned about his health because he had started off as a very skinny vegan. And then he started doing these mukbang videos and where he was literally eating thousands of calories. And now he's huge and, you know, he has an air thing when he sleeps and he had talked about breaking 2 ribs. So, you know, it just seems like at this point, like we've come to almost a place where not just with weight, but with just issues in general, whatever it is people want to be, it's like it's almost that people have gone so extreme in their things and everybody else has to be accepting in the extremeness, whether it's healthy or not. The other week we were talking about these people with these fake disorders where we have to accept that they are, you know, really
they capitalize on the disorder, right? They get to say that this is something that I can't control, and therefore I'm stunning and brave for having it. And that's what a lot of this
click on my
stems
channel.
But this is what a lot of this has been stemming from, is the fact that we want to glorify mediocrity and not trying. We want to glorify those that really are like, I could put in the effort, but I shouldn't have to. I should just be respected and put on a pedestal for the fact that I merely exist in the world. Give me clicks and likes. We're in the instant gratification culture where, again, you don't want to try for anything in the long run. That takes effort. At the same time, I'm trying to at least get that bridge across that there is an unhealthy, realistic expectation versus the unhealthy one. And it's the same thing for like what we have with our superhero movies. Like, you realize that those actors don't look like that 24/7, right? Like, they get like 2 days of it, and usually it's from lack of water for a while, so that all of them look ripped and tight. Like, muscle bodybuilders don't look like that on a regular basis. That's not a daily sustainable thing. That does not exist in reality. At the same time, if you are a bigger person and you go and you are still exercising and still trying to stay healthy, be on top of it, if you are bigger, people should not shame you for that. But at the same time, we can't glorify someone like, look, I just ate 5 McDoubles and 3 cheesecakes, and I'm just so like gorgeous for it. Like,
I have a serious question.
Yes.
This is actually a trend.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're lying.
No. Body positivity, on the other hand, I'm going to let you know, has also been its own backlash. The mukbang thing.
Yeah,
it's
called mukbang.
Like,
these people literally, I mean,
eat tons and tons of food all in one sitting in like a fast time
like
lapse.
10 to 20,000 calories per sitting. Like,
I don't think that's the root of the body positivity movement, though.
Do they throw it up later?
It's funny because like Nikocado Avocado had this one video where he lost 1 pound and then ate like 30 pounds of food, 30 pounds of McDonald's.
Yeah, it's a whole trend on YouTube and TikTok. There's a lot of
culture in general right now.
Yeah,
like, you see it.
The mukbang, it actually started off, I want to say it's a Japanese or it's something that came from an Asian culture.
I want to say it's Korean.
It could be Korean. I think you're right. Where it started off where you would sit and watch other people.
It'd be like a really pretty, like, thin girl sitting there and like dipping a bunch of stuff and just eating all of it in one sitting.
But of course, when it comes to America, you get big fat people that are just eating all these crazy amounts of food.
Well, that's because that's a Tuesday for them, right?
That's because food is so delicious here. I mean, it's hard to lose weight because food is so good.
And food itself is its own addiction. I mean, anything in too much amount is bad for you, right? Like, that's the truth of it. But the other thing with the body positivity movement, though, is that there's been like celebrities that have been glorified for being bigger. We get people like Adele, like Lizzo, who are these singers, these big forces. And then as soon as they lose weight because they're more concerned about their health, like for what you were saying, to be with the ones that they love. Adele wanted to lose weight because she had a kid and she knew that she had these higher chances for heart issues and all these other things. She got in shape because she wanted to be with her family more. And the fat positive community hit on her hard. Turned on her like on a dime and started treating her like she was some sort of villain now. And it's like, all she did was want to live her better life. She's not telling you to lose fucking weight. Right. And yet you're going to chastise her about it.
It's not like she's like a vegan teacher.
It's making them feel bad.
Yeah. And then the same thing with Lizzo. Lizzo started losing weight and people are like, no, you're a BBW. You can't do that. And it's like, but she wants to. Like, leave her alone and let her do it. There's been a few other things. And then even with like the Super Bowl recently, like everyone kind of called out the hypocrisy of how we can glorify when women do it, but then when like 50 Cent pops out, he $1.50 now.
Right.
And everyone just laughed and went with it. And it's just like, so it's okay for us to glorify one side, but like for the other guys, like it's still okay to make fun of them. Right. And then at the same time, we're all about the culture that's like about the dad bod. I'm all about the dad bod. Like I have a fucking dad bod. You don't want me taking off my shirt.
I'm 18 and I got a dad bod.
You're young enough still, and you got the beard at least, so it's like, oh, look at you, you little cub. Hiya, boo boo. How you doing? Let's get a picnic basket.
Matt, did you have something you were saying?
How old is everyone here? I'm 42. What is everyone's age here?
I'm 18.
42? What are you?
I'm 18.
36.
Oh, that was
48.
8?
I'm 31.
48.
Banana hammock.
There you go.
31.
How old are you?
Decades, brother. There we go.
31.
I love it. That's a big time span between all of us, and I'm glad we're having a good conversation. That's what's up.
Well, and this
everyone's
is
I was just
why-
curious.
Your shit. Fuck.
And just so you know, too, Matt, we
He's
had
old enough.
a couple of women that were supposed to be on tonight, but they weren't able to make it in last minute. I really like to get different perspectives from different people because things do change from generation to generation, and also from man and woman as well. So thank
Momoa's
you for.
dad bod. I got the Momoa bod.
Oh,
I actually have a different opinion.
Yeah, what's your
Okay,
thought?
go for it.
So first off, Steve Jordan, he commented some time ago about, people getting offended by people faking disabilities. Well, I'm one of them because I'm a Marine. I have PTSD, anxiety, both kneecaps replaced, the whole freaking nine. So yeah, I get pissed off when people fake bullshit because it just pisses me off.
Right.
So I actually come from a Scottish family. Majority of the males in my family are anywhere between 6'4" to 6'9", and they're roughly about 250 to 320 pounds.
Braveheart, motherfucker.
Due to a slight birth defect, I came out 5'8", and currently I weigh 115 pounds.
Oh wow, you're
Damn.
scrawny. You're the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
You seem so much bigger on camera.
That's what she said.
Everybody keeps talking about, bigger guys, bigger gals, but nobody really understands skinny people like me. I am one of those people where I don't have a choice. I have to eat 15,000 calories a day.
Right.
I have to. I have no choice. Like I have.
You're like
no
a hummingbird.
And there is something to that. There are people that have that disorder that like they are so skinny. Everyone's like, what, do you do a lot of coke? It's like, no, I eat all the time. I literally can't hold it on. I wish I had that issue. I'd be gorgeous if I did, but that's just
I used to eat 5 large pepperoni pizzas a day.
Oh wow.
And I wouldn't gain
That
a pound.
still can't be good for your fucking blood pressure though. I mean,
how did Boo handle you?
I mean, I smoke. I take 12 different prescription drugs. I mean, come on, I'm fucked up. I don't care.
Right.
But
I will say in your case, health issues aside, which there may be, I'm sure, if you're eating that much food, there's going to be other health challenges besides, weight, but you aren't necessarily going to be chastised going onto an airplane because you're a skinny guy or sitting at a restaurant. Nobody's going to look at your plate and go, oh, or maybe you're eating too much.
This is true.
If you actually could see what my body looks like, people chastise me actually quite a bit.
Take your shirt off. He did it.
Take your shirt off. Come on, let's brave up.
See that?
Somehow,
Let's get it all together, brother.
Oh, he's
somehow
doing it.
this show is turning into Anthony's personal strip club.
Yeah!
Woo!
Who could mock that? You're furry and cute. Come on now.
You look
Can't
good.
tell.
Yeah.
But
Furrier than
well,
that.
like with bigger guys like Van. Okay, you're a bigger guy. If I may, can I ask what your weight is?
Oh, dude, I'm over 3.
Okay, but still, like you are one of the bigger guys that I respect because you are doing something with your life. You're working hard. You work hard for Kyber Cave. You're doing everything you can to do something. You're making your money. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's people out there, 300, 400, 500 pounds where they just don't do a fucking thing. And it's like, I have no sympathy for you. I don't think you're beautiful. I don't think anything of you. I think you're a fucking lazy piece of shit.
Right.
And you're very confident, I can tell.
But there's skinny people that ain't doing shit too.
This is true, and a lot of it does come down to like motivation and goals and things like that, and addiction. We're not going to sit here and mock those that are born bigger or are bigger because of things like thyroid issues or other significant medical problems that can be an X factor. There are things out there that do keep weight on people or don't keep weight on people, where like you can't shame those bodies for being what they are because they're dealing with that own thing. But there is a key difference between that and someone who sits there and just consumes and abuses the system and again uses other people to let them do that. I don't understand why being obese is a disability unless you have one of those medical conditions. Absolutely not. There should not be a reason that somebody can sit at home and just eat food and get paid money for it. And then like be like, oh, I'm just so poor. Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for that either.
I hear
but there are mental health issues. I have empathy for this. Again, there should be a lot more sources for like therapy. Like if somebody is going to be someone who's having to be on disability as a result of their eating disorder or those kinds of issues, we need to have access for them to get the help that they need so they can get out of that. Because I know that that's got to be a completely depressing kind of lifestyle. If you're stuck in a room, or if you're one of those people that can't leave their house, like that there is something that's really concerning with it. But at the same time, we're glorifying it on things like TLC, and people are like, "Oh, I can be famous if I do this. I can be famous if I go see Doctor Now."
Ezra, did you have something that you were trying to say?
It's
Ezra?
concerning.
I heard someone say it's Honey Boo Boo's fault.
Yeah,
Wow.
Honey Boo Boo, she glorified it.
I was also gonna say, what about that show, like My 600 Pound Life?
Right.
That's still going, and one of their main people just got into like a coma as a result of it because she just is not getting on the program. She's getting better now, but I think it was that final wake up call of like, "Hi, honey, you're actually gonna die from this if you don't stop."
Right. But there, I feel like people are trying to get on that because
and they are. It's kind of like Pregnant and 16 or whatever.
Remember that Pregnant, yeah.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea for a show because it's like, oh, I could just go fuck the boy in the girls volleyball room, and then I'm on TV. Like, it's not a good idea. Like, don't promote bad behavior because they're getting on TV, they're getting the likes,
and also they're getting paid,
and they're also now getting paid for it. Exactly, and again, it comes back to like glorifying that thing. At the same time, like The Biggest Loser was not a good show either because that kind of extreme measure dieting and exercise program is not healthy in the slightest either. And it's not sustainable, and a lot of those people bounce back real quick because it's not sustainable.
They signed that contract.
They signed the contract, but again, we're putting that out there in the ether for people to watch and consume as content, and we do that and then think this is what we're supposed to do. There's a reason people were starving themselves in the 90s to look heroin chic, because that's not an attainable thing, healthily done. But it was the thing that was glorified. It's not healthy to get to 500 pounds, but we're telling people, oh, well, you're brave and stunning for it. And even it comes back to something, I think we were talking a little bit about transgender issues. If not, we need to. About the alarming rate of people now detransitioning because of like how we kind of made this a big thing that people are like, oh, it'll make me more noticeable, it's going to make me more popular, it's going to bring me the thing that I want, which is more attention, and yet it won't always.
What is detransitioning?
When people
their original gender,
believe that they're transgender, and then they go through the therapy and the hormones and the surgeries, and then after some time realize this was a mistake, and now they want to go back.
Oh.
So there's such thing as being male to female trans or female to male trans, and then realizing too late, like you've already had like a sex change, you've already gone through the chemical hormones, and then realizing, oh shit, I didn't want this, and now you're back to being male trans. So now you're transitioning from being the female you back to the male you.
And this is part of last week when our topic was the fallout of TikTok 2030. This was a little bit, although not directly, this is a little bit of what I talked about. Like these people that have, the fake Tourette's or the fake mental diseases, or maybe there's a lot of people that maybe they think they're another gender that they're not, because it's kind of the cool thing on the internet right now. Not necessarily because they, they're still learning about themselves, but because they see everybody else doing it, they are doing it. And then what happens 10 years from now when they realize, oh, maybe that was just, that was me going through a phase or something.
Yeah.
Well, and that's this almost touches on the whole like "don't say gay" bill was in Florida that everyone's up in arms about right now. I think the big misconception here, and again, I'm not trying to pick a side on this one because I think that there is a lot of flawed.
I encourage comfortable conversation.
Yes, but the fact of the matter is that it's not that people are saying that you can't tell people like I have two moms or I have two dads, or even say like, oh, that teacher's gay. It's the fact that there are teachers that are making a point at like kindergarten, first grade, second grade to talk about their personal gender identity and the pronoun thing and talk about being trans as though that needs to be something that like little children need to learn about when it's not.
Right.
We need to stop indoctrinating children in that mindset or that ideology at like such a young level. And they're doing it on purpose. And they're trying to say, like, if you call me out for it, you're a bigot. No, we don't need to talk about it at that age. It needs to be something that's taught at sex ed. Like we need to talk about this with adults. We need to talk about this with the parents. This needs to be a conversation for them that if you see your child exhibit X, Y, Z behaviors, that you see that they are saying, no, I don't want to be a girl, I'm a boy. If they're constantly consistent about that, be respectful enough to allow them to wear the things that they want to wear, allow them to explore that part. But yes, a big part of this whole detransitioning thing and a lot about the problematic parts about talking about gender identity so candidly at a younger age is that people don't know who they are yet. These kids don't know who they are. Do you know how long it took me to fucking figure out who I was? Right. I was deeply closeted. Are you kidding me? I was hoping and praying to be straight for some time. And it took a very long time for me to get to understand myself. Yes, let kids be kids. Let the girls play the sports. Yeah. Let the boys play with dolls. Don't chastise them. And if other kids do, say, hey, why are you giving them a hard time? They're just having fun. Leave them alone. That's the point. Don't go, well, Billy identifies as Tina now. Like, we don't need that. We need people.
Right. And, really, if you think about it, it's kind of artificial anyways, the things that we determine what makes a boy toy or a girl toy, right? Well, if you were to take an infant in another country that weren't given these predetermined, and they do it psychologically, right? Like when Toys R Us was around, they literally had pink aisles for the girls. I mean, like literally, that was how the girls knew where their section of the store was, right? But we only think of, because if you go into another culture, the boys may play with baby dolls just as much as the girls because the boys are going to grow up to be fathers, right? So they need to know how to change diapers and how to wash a baby doll. They need to know how to be loving and nurturing the same as a girl does. So what makes a baby doll a girl toy and what makes a truck a boy toy? I know at least two women that are
I can give you an
drivers.
Answer to those. I'm gonna let you know this right now. I'll give you this answer right now. It's because this is where the societal problem of gender norms and gender rules and gender roles comes from. This is where we were supposed to go with the whole thing, and then they completely derailed it and started making it about how it's this big like spectrum of infinite possibilities of indescribable things. And I have this pronoun that didn't exist like 3 years ago. We did condition children in this sense where girls had baby dolls because women have babies, right? But now we don't have women who have babies because trans women are women, and we can't define what a woman is because, well, it's now an identity. It's now something that anyone can define as because, well, we can. Like by all means, I should be taking advantage of if I was this type of person that I dress up as a girl on a regular basis once a week at least. And I could be saying I'm gender fluid because I get misgendered all the time when someone approaches me from behind. But at the same time, I'm someone who identifies as a man because I'm cisgender because I was born in this body. The journey it took for me to love my own body was its own journey. But at the same time, I can say that my definition for men and women is it depends if we're talking about sex or gender, right? If sex and gender are separate, which is their argument, one of those things has a definition and it has to do with your biology, whether you like that or not. And the other one has to do with how you perceive yourself and how you want society to perceive yourself and what we tone to what that is. So my big issue currently is the fact that we're saying, well, identifying as a woman is what makes you a woman, but we can't define what a woman is. And my whole big issue is that what that's really telling me is that your masculinity that you present is what defines your manness, and the femininity that you present is what defines your femaleness. And I am someone who came to accept myself over the fact that being effeminate doesn't make me any less of a man because of my definition rooted in my biology. I'm still a man because I know what it experiences like growing up in a body of somebody with a penis and going through the hormonal changes of that. They are vastly different from what females experience. I can guarantee you this. I know nothing of what it's like to shed my uterine lining. I don't know how awkward it is to have that every single month. I don't have the same kind of dysmorphia or dysphoria about my body as a result of that. I have my own personal things. If anything, I can say this. Every boy from the age of 9 to 14 is obsessed with farts and boners. Are they not? Are they not?
Right.
Tell me, where's the lie? All of the men here, we can agree on this, correct? Like,
True.
This is the thing. There's that period that farts are funny as shit. And oh my God, boners, we all have them. And yeah, we make fun of each other over it. And they're awkward and they're weird and they come up all the time. And it's part of that physiology and something that you have to get to learn about your own body. Like, it's different. And there's nothing wrong with being different.
Right.
So
You can't tell me that even now as an adult, every once in a while, if someone just rips ass, that you still don't laugh.
Yeah, no, farts are funny. And it's not
I
just
still
and that's
fart
the thing.
regularly.
Everybody farts. So like trans
If I don't
men
fart
who
regularly,
fart,
it's like-
yeah, no, they might be privy to that too. They might be all about that. They know all the boyhood things regarding that. But with the boners, I mean, you don't know what it's like to get an awkward, comfy boner in the middle of a math classroom. Like that's not an experience that you can relate to.
Right.
It's a different set of experiences, and that's where again this kind of stems from in a weird, awkward way where now we're like conflating things and not following the same.
I actually think that I actually want to. I was thinking about this the other day because God, I can't remember. Forgive me for the. Is it Leah Thompson, the swimmer? Is that the whole controversy?
That's a big hot topic issue too.
Right. I actually wanted to bring that up as a topic on this show, so maybe we can talk a little bit more. But maybe we'll talk about that next week.
No idea about any of that.
Huh?
I have no idea about that at all.
Well, then you got a week to figure it out. Basically, it's a transitioning. I don't know. I don't think
it's a trans female swim athlete who won one meet, and suddenly people are like up in arms, like men shouldn't transition and compete with women because it's unfair because of their biological advantages. At the same time, other people have been like, "Hi, she won that one meet. She also was like 5th in another one and didn't even place in another one." Like, chill the fuck out. Like, since the transition has actually lost on time, so it's one of those things that again people skew the percentages. Like that if anything, that's a hot topic issue we should talk about sometime soon. Is how people take advantage of statistics and percentages to prove their argument while completely disregarding the other ones.
Well, and this is why I feel like nowadays it's so hard. This is why I actually like this show in this space, because I feel like it's hard to have these discussions because we aren't all dealing with the same set of facts, right?
Yeah.
There's like I sometimes have, and it's not that I have a problem with, I have problem understanding because my brain doesn't work that way. So it's not like I'm like, oh, these people are wrong. It's just I don't necessarily get it. It doesn't work in my brain. But like, people who say, I am this sex, but I identify as this, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily, that's a difficult one for me to understand because I've only ever been one way. I am, I was born in a male body and I identify as cis. So I don't always know what that's like, or I can't put myself into that person's position to feel like, man, I feel like I should be a female or something like that.
Well, and that's kind of seems like it's men telling women how they feel, essentially.
Right.
That's what I mean. The Leah Thompson. I've been watching this for a while. That's new to me. But have y'all heard of Fallon Fox before? Like, I caught you think one of this years ago. The MMA fighter Fallon Fox who transitioned.
I did hear about that one. Yes, actually,
Dude,
now that you say that,
he was fucking people up.
Yeah.
Man. But eventually, the estrogen leveled out, and fighting's different because I do jujitsu. I've gotten asked beat by women that weigh like
no, and I have too.
pounds before me. I mean, fighting if you weigh the same, there's an equality point. But when he first transitioned, man, he was fucking people up. When that testosterone was high, that was bad.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of martial arts too, and that's the other thing where it's like, yeah, I've had senseis and other students that like fuck my world up that are women. Like I think if anything, we need to have more of like that neutral league where like whatever you identify as, you can all
Hunger Games style. Wasn't Hunger Games style just everybody go whatever they want? It's just
I'm a Street Fighter. I mean, I love seeing people compete with each other. There's
actually
more equality, but I think a lot of it does stem from like safety concerns and issues because, again, statistically speaking, someone with a bigger frame is going to overpower someone in a physical activity, and it can be dangerous.
Right.
I also think that it would be really good to get more of the female perspective, like on something like this, or like even a trans perspective on something like this, especially on a topic like this, because it is important to hear things from their perspective too.
Right. No emotions involved.
Well, yeah, exactly. We can have like an analytical, critical view looking, scope of what we're doing here, but I can guarantee you right now, like the fact that it's a bunch of cisgender men up here, like someone's going to rip us a new one like that, just for being that, because we're talking.
I did my best. I tried booking some people out. Everybody was busy. I did want to say though, really quickly, as a proud point, saber fighting is one of the few sports that is both sexes fight openly. It's not like just males or just females. Males and females can fight at the same time.
I am also very much not
anybody
a cis
and everybody.
And anybody and
You're
everybody.
not a cis man. Ezra, you surprise me every single day because I learn more and more about you. What tell us more.
I am a non-binary person.
I see. So describe more of that for us, for the viewers who don't already know.
So I don't really conform to either side. So not so much gender fluidity where I feel like I'm a male one day and then a female another. More, I just don't feel gender. I just feel like I'm a human, per se. At least for me. Everyone has their own different experience, but this is how I feel. I just, yes, I have my male perspective of life, but also I can see like female point of views. I also don't mind going out wearing.
Okay, so here's where, and this is where I have, and this is Ezra's gonna laugh because I always joke with him. What do I always say, Ezra? What is my joke about you, dude?
I am the worst gay guy ever.
You're the worst gay guy I've ever met, dude. Because like I hear you saying a lot of these things, or saying that you're bi, or that you're sexually attracted to both sexes. But in my experience with you, in the 2 years, 3 years that we've been around each other, I've never seen you with the male. I've never seen you dressed, maybe in what would be considered. We work at a goddamn cosplay store, dude.
We thought that you were in a kilt.
But and then as far as myself, right? Like I am a male preschool teacher, right? And so a lot of times people assume that I'm gay.
Hi, Belle.
That take it easy, Belle. We'll see you Sunday night.
Bye.
A lot of times people assume that I'm gay or have assumptions about me that are not true. I used to paint my fingernails back in the day or dye my hair, but I was, by no means was there any discrepancy in my mind. That was the fun thing I want to do. I want to color my fingernails. You know what I mean? I was still a straight male. So this is where it becomes difficult for me, where I was saying I'm not judging other people. I just don't understand it myself. Does that mean that I'm non-binary? Because I enjoy female things as well, or I don't understand.
No, and again, I think
I've been mistaken for gay
big
as well.
Picture issue about this is that we should be getting rid of the gender norms and gender rules. Just because what body you're born in shouldn't dictate what things you can wear, what you want to present yourself as, or how you have fun, or what activities you engage yourself in. I mean, again, I apologize, Ezra, because I did not know that you were non-binary. You
I
had
go by
mentioned
all
that
pronouns.
You do present very male, so that would be the natural assumption. I mean, and I know that you have a girlfriend, so and you told me that you've had experience with men, so I would see that you were either like pansexual or bisexual. But I would still like read you as a male, and I would hope that you wouldn't fault me for that because of like the beard's kind of a giveaway.
The beard kind of puts it off as like I'm not.
Just a bit. If anything, as a non-binary person, what would you describe the relationship you have with your body as it relates to how you define yourself with your gender?
Good night, Steve.
Good night, Steve. I don't really know per se. It's kind of tough just because like I also have ADHD, so I don't perceive like a lot of things. Like I have no perception of time. This is gonna sound ignorant, but I also have no perception of race. But that's also like a I was taught that in the Marines. They're all my brothers and sisters. Like
yeah, well, no, and that's an important thing too that we don't talk enough about is that we did come from a place where like not viewing race as a thing was a good thing. And now it's like, oh, you can't tell me you're colorblind because that's ignorant and repugnant and repulsive. So we're somehow like detracting and going backwards. I feel when it comes to things like that. And then again, you know, and I'm not trying to like discredit you or anything, but it sounds to either like it's just not important to you, so therefore it's a non-issue, or it's again something you don't really have a firm grasp of or of what you want it to be. Like you're figuring it out still.
Per se, yeah.
I mean, you're still young. Like I didn't fucking figure myself out until I was 26. So
I was also in a very homophobic family until I was like 16.
Me too.
So
my brother's husband was 55 before he figured it out.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a
journey.
2 kids that were in their 20s.
26.
Actually, we have about 5 minutes left to show, guys. So let's start wrapping it up. Just because I got somewhere to go.
Oh.
Okay, you're gonna let this go.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. Yeah, we'll start wrapping up.
Y'all.
Matt, did you have?
Okay,
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Matt, did you want to make a comment? We're getting ready to wrap up here. Steve, I saw that you said, but go ahead. You were saying that you've been mistaken
like
for gay.
I treat everybody like a human being, regardless what you wear, what you preach, what you wear, how you identify A, B, and C, what you believe. I'm just gonna love you. Period.
Right.
That's it. That's how everybody should be. It's very hard to understand that.
And on that note, it's kind of like even all the stuff that we've talked about tonight because we went around the gambit.
We went everything. We went way off topic.
Yeah, go figure. But even so, the important thing is even if I don't agree with your decision or your viewpoint, that doesn't mean I have to be an asshole to you. I'm not trying to be an asshole to people. At the same time, I should not be told how I should and have to think as a result of someone else's viewpoint. If I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you. And if you can't talk it out with me and tell me why I'm wrong, well, then it sounds to me like you kind of don't know what you're talking about. Somebody told this to you and you feel this way now.
Right.
So again, that comes from that critical view. Like people should love each other, accept each other, treat others as the way you would like to be treated. That's the important one.
Haven't we been taught that since like second grade?
Yeah, it would be really nice if people could do that. And you know, it's ironic because that's a part of the what would Jesus do? Like
that's a part
of
the problem.
Wait, Anthony, hold on. Matt, what'd you say?
That's really a part of the problem. We've been taught to be so nice and polite and kind that we can't question anything.
Right.
Be nice. Right. Be kind. Damn, I can't say anything because that's mean if I say that. That'll make them feel bad.
Right.
There's a difference between like saying something that's honest that like hurts someone's feelings, and there's a difference of doing it on purpose to hurt that person's feelings. Does that make sense?
It's the power of intent.
The truth hurts.
Just the truth hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
If you hurt someone's feelings, doesn't matter. People are like, "Damn, you're an asshole for that. How dare you hurt feelings? How dare you hurt?"
But see, here's the thing: is I believe in the power of intent. Right? It's not a problem if you say, "Oh, you know." Your show sucked. I don't like your show, right? But the problem is I'll look at it and go, why did that person say that? Did they say it to hurt my feelings, or did they say it because they actually want me to become better? It really has to do with the intent of the person that's giving it. Because sometimes, you know, it's just like our parents sometimes, right? Sometimes we say our parents are hard on us, but it's just because they expect more from us because they want more for us, right? Doesn't mean that they had bad intentions, but maybe how they went about expressing it was not the best way to do it.
Oh, it's when they say, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's that kind of
Oh, that is
yeah, talking about PTSD, right. Triggering.
All right, guys, we're going to start to wrap up. I want to thank Matt Torres, incredible flow artist. Matt, we got to get you on an interview segment on the show on Saber Rattle soon.
Yeah, I'm working on something. I'll message you. I'm trying to put it together. Hopefully you can see it grow in a year or two. I don't know.
Beautiful.
Right. Peace out, brother.
Wait. Do you have anything you want to plug, like any social media, anything?
No, honestly, I just do everything I do just to express myself. I don't have a lot of friends, so I just like being here.
Oh, we love you, Matt.
Okay.
Where can people see your stuff? Like, do you have a YouTube channel?
I have a TikTok on Legit Jedi. That's Jedi EYE. I have a YouTube that I don't keep up with. That's Savage USC. And this here on Facebook. That's about it. Nothing too much. I just like seeing y'all everywhere I go. Facebook has blown up into a world of. There's a lot of people I know now, like y'all. So y'all are cool. Appreciate it.
Well, we loved having you on. Thank you, and make sure to tuck Grogu in for us tonight, because every video I see, you're always hanging out with Grogu.
Yeah. Y'all be safe.
May the force be with you. Bye. All right, Anthony. Do you have anything?
Well, of course, everyone come out to the Slay House at Blend Ultra Lounge on Wednesdays if you're in the Lodi, Stockton, Sacramento, Vacaville area of sorts. It's a bit of a drive, I know. Outside of that, you know, I enjoy talking vigorously about things like this, and I also know that it's the things that get me in trouble. So I hope that people, the viewers out there, really, really hope that I'm never trying to offend anyone. And I'm not trying to like deconstruct everything entirely. I just want to look at things analytically and critically and let people know, like, you shouldn't be afraid to discuss these things, because even like what Van was saying earlier, like it's about understanding. And the fact is, when things that are new come about, it's hard to understand them if you didn't have that. And we shouldn't be chastised for asking questions. You know, the message at the end of the day for all of the things that might, again, follow your dreams. If you have a really cool, badass dream, take a dream journal, write that shit down. You might have the next big Harry Potter. You never fucking know. Also, you know, be true to who you are, be comfortable in your own skin, finding that personal inner peace of I like who I am. That is something that is a feeling that no one can take away from you. And as soon as you've achieved that, by whatever measures, if you're not happy with your body, change it. There's ways of doing it. Find the thing that makes you happy. Think of who you want to be, and work towards that, because the work will pay off. And people will come into your life that are going to brighten that life and make you feel what you want. At the same time, you can't just expect it because something comes along that's flashy and trendy, and it takes minimal work. So I'm going to do this, and then, you don't like me no more. It's still people don't like you, but whatever. You get what I'm saying. I digress. I am on a lot of sleep deprivation, so I know I've rambled on for a lot more than I normally do. Is it more than normal? I don't know.
No, not at all.
I'm looking forward to sleeping. What? Anthony talk forever? Never. Okay.
All right, Van, you got anything you want to plug?
Oh man, this has been another fun show. We went way the hell off of a lot of topics tonight, but this is why we do this, right? I really like this open discussion, and I like having a place. Like, I feel like this is my place for therapy. This is my place to ask people things that maybe I don't necessarily understand. But if I was out in the normal community and I say, I don't get that, I don't understand that, I feel like I might be chastised for it or, condemned for it. But here I feel like, we bring on people that I can ask questions and not feel spoken down to if I don't necessarily understand, all the nuances of things. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. Please check out kybercave.com. I just saw a couple orders come in as we were speaking. Woohoo! Thank you guys for whoever made orders. We definitely need it. Again, I am looking for a store manager. So if you know anyone who has store management experience or is up for a new challenge and refuses to lose, have them message me at Kyber Cave or Kyber Cave Productions kindly. But please check out the website, kybercave.com, and come back here Sunday night at 7 p.m. You saw Belle Burns herself, a real Disney princess. She will be our guest on this show. And next week, I'm excited about too. We have the inventor of slam poetry, Mark Kelly Smith, will be on our show. The guy who invented slam poetry. I'm stoked for that because I used to be a slam poet. So excited for those. Ezra, it's all you.
Well, he pretty much said it. Go to kybercave.com. Order. Order savers, please. We also have T-shirts, keychains, little pocket knives,
chopsticks.
There's acrylic keychains. We have some ripper blades. We have a bunch of sabers. We even have a couple sabers that aren't from the company that we have our sponsor for, which is DXQ.
Clearance sabers.
Which are on clearance. So there's a couple Ultra Sabers on there. If you were to go order those, then we'll get those to you in like 2 days compared to like 4 months.
Dude, you know what? From now on, I'm never going to say the word Ultra Saber from now on. It's just going to be Bruno. That's what I'm calling Ultra Saber.
Oh, God. No, we're never going to get off of Bruno.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you. Hopefully next week we can make it through an episode without Encanto. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight, especially all you people out there on the East Coast. Matt Torres was in Texas. Thank you for coming in. Banana sack, Josh out in Reno. Banana hammock,
Josh.
Banana sack.
Yes, I'm getting his contact info after this.
He's on the message board, so you should be able to just
click
his name and message.
I want that box set, bitch.
All right, you guys. We will see you next Friday night, or this Sunday night, hopefully soon. Thank you guys so much. Anthony, it's always fun talking to you, my friend.
What?
Hello? Bueller?
That glitched out on me. I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was like, damn, dude.
What?
I said it's always fun talking to you. Like, so I thank you for being on tonight. Like that one week where we didn't have you, it felt like such a huge gap. I was like, dude, I feel like we haven't talked to Anthony forever.
No, this is kind of a therapy thing for me too. Like I'm dead to the world tired, but I was like, I really want to be on Kyber Cave. I miss those boys. I want to drink and talk politics of sorts without being political. Oh, it's lovely. I want to see how much his beard has grown. Shit.
Oh, wait. It's up to here.
Yeah.
You can't really see it against the black shirt.
I know. I still just want to grab it.
One day.
All right, y'all.
One day.
Thank you, Kyber Cave family. We will see you this Sunday and next Friday at 9 p.m. Peace.